This had to be the sloppiest load yet from these folks. The Gaylord box is tipping. It was open along the bottom corner, so I had to reinforce it with some cardboard and strap it all in order to get it to the shark cage. Yeah, what a mess. But hey, you know, you adapt, you overcome, you do what you got to do. Well, let's get her unwrapped and dive in. Here you can see what I mean by how it's kind of coming apart already. I wonder if we can just tip it over now and then unpack it. We might need to do that. So you can see there's boards down here at the bottom, and we'll take a look at the top. This is a mixed bag. We got all kinds of weird stuff in this load. Huh, interesting. Socket mounted ICs, a bunch of fuses for my friend over in the United Kingdom, Mr. Matthews, and a backplane looking kind of thing. I don't know how we're going to treat that one just yet. All right, well, I need to get some bins staged and get to work here. Well, from the top, well, we got laptops, boards, all-in-ones. Man, it's just a sloppy mix of all kinds of stuff, isn't it? I wonder if we can tip this up. We'll see. I got to get some weight out of it. I think as soon as I get enough of these things out of the top, I'll be able to tip the whole box on its side. The bottom will open up, and then I can pull stuff out. That's my plan. Okay, not exactly to plan, but close enough. Yeah, this will make it a lot easier. I don't have to climb up in the truck and balance all my tippy toes. I'm calling that Telcom high grade. Got to clean it up a little bit, but yeah, that's a nice Telcom board. Low grade. More low grade. Gold finger card. We'll take the bracket off. Got quite a few gold finger cards here in this load. Oh, let's get you out of the way. We got some laptops in the mix here. All right, you're going to end up being a peripheral once I get you cleaned up. Probably peripheral high grade once I get all the junk off of it. Low grade. Quite a few of this style of gold finger card in this load. That'll be a peripheral high grade. Now, what I'm doing is I'm putting all the peripherals, whether they're high or low, in the same bin because I need to do a resort on them anyway. All right, now we have a motherboard, not a laptop motherboard, but a motherboard here, and it says AM, so this is going to be a small socket I series motherboard. And that's going to be an integrated motherboard. You can see that the main chip is fully integrated into it. We might go, actually that might go as a peripheral. I gotta think about that one for a minute. Because yeah, you know what? This is gonna be a peripheral high grade. Because we don't have the classic computer jack kind of things here. What we have are ports for your TV and your cable and audio. So yeah, peripheral high grade. That is stuck on this low grade. Ooh, some RAM. Finger strip board from a flat screen TV, so that'll be a peripheral high grade. Low. Low. I still need to take the metal off. Oh, look at that. There's a stink bug. So this time of year, we get these stink bugs, and they're looking for a place to overwinter. So they show up in your house and all over the place. It's annoying as all get out. Small metal socket. Low grade. Now up here where we are, there's no danger of confusing them with the assassin bugs that carry the Chagas disease. They're just stink bugs. You smash them, they smell nasty. And at this time of year, they're trying to get into everything. So, peripheral. These brown boards are almost always going to be low grade. Now, sometimes you will get boards that are brown that are also motherboards or telecoms. So, the color itself is not, I mean, you still have to look and see what it is. But usually a brown board is going to be a low grade. All right, so look at how much gold plating is on those. Those aren't too bad, but look at that. Almost the whole thing is gold plating. And gold cornered BGA flat pack ICs and ICs. Big old black tantalum capacitors, but it's not a integrated motherboard, so it will go with the peripheral high grades. I had some folks ask me, do I share every unpack with you? And the answer is no. Peripheral high grade. I do not share every unpack that I do with you. So this is going to be a peripheral low grade. We've got big old knocking transformers and caps. And by the time I get done taking enough off of this to make it a peripheral high grade, there wouldn't be much left on it. Yeah, peripheral low grade. I might pull those aluminum heat sinks off of there. I get so much stuff coming in. Oh, Goldfinger card. An unusual kind of Goldfinger card. If I was to share every unload with you, I'd never get done all my unloads. And some of them are not terribly informative. If I get, so peripheral, nah. Oh yeah, I'm gonna call that a peripheral low grade. We've got some gold ENIG on it. We've got some components. So peripheral low grade. Oops. The But you know, when they're kind of interesting, as opposed to, see, there's, look, 1, 2, 3, 4 of these stink bugs hiding, 5 stink bugs on this thing. This is going to be an I series, so see that bent arm? That'll be an I series motherboard. Yeah. Probably throwing this in with the low and mid grades. Yeah, that's gonna be a low, that's mid-grade board, but I'm throwing it in. I sell my low and mid grades mixed together. So somebody cut the gold fingers off of the gold finger card, and so that's just, now that's just going to end up being a peripheral board after I take the brackets off. Ooh. So gold fingers and lots of ICs. It came out of some sort of telecom device, but it's brown. So there's a classic example of just because it's brown doesn't make it a low grade board. Bunch of ICs, we got some push buttons, we've got some MOSFETs, we got a great big old cap. So yeah, I'm going to throw that in with my low mid grades, and I may pinch those ICs off of there. Some came out of a power supply. Got some gold plated pins there, so yeah, it's probably a server power supply there. Low mid grade peripheral. Huh, burn mark. Might have been, that looks more like damage than someone trying to depopulate. I'm throwing it in with the peripherals. I might clean it up, but it's peripheral low grade. Huh, interesting. There's scorch marks all over the place. And there's some missing components, so I'm thinking that was a depopulation event. Yeah, I'm going to throw that in with the peripheral high grades. This is an older board. You can tell from these older style resistors. There's some ICs on here. There's a little bit of gold enig here. So peripheral, yeah, it's, I'm gonna call it peripheral low grade for now. And we'll reassess when I go through the peripheral boards again. Low grade. Low grade. Peripheral high grade. Got to get the cable off of there. Another power board, power supply board. LCD screen. And I'm going to put that in with the peripherals. We might clean that up to a peripheral high grade. We'll see. Got some more gold finger cards. Peripheral high grade, gold finger card. Low mid grade. Low mid grade. Low mid grade. I wonder if I can get paid for all the stink bugs. So these are going to be peripherals. Oh, that's nice. 3Com Office Connect. Insert this end. Like that. I'm going to put that down there with the specialty boards till I decide if I want to, what I want to do with it. Yeah, low grade. Oops, wrong bin. We have a motherboard. I-series motherboard. And peripheral, low grade, but I might remove that part. A motherboard, looks like might have been a laptop motherboard. So we'll reassess, but I'm thinking it might have been a laptop motherboard. The reason that I don't do a detailed sort at this stage is I'm trying to get through quickly, and I don't know exactly everything that I'm going to get in a particular load, so I need to just sort of do a rough sort. And even, I mean, I've tried a couple times to do a detailed sort. Interesting backplane board with gold fingers. I'm going to put that in the specialties while I figure out what I want to do with it. And I always find stuff that I missed. So LCD screen, each one of those is actually an IC. So when I take the screen off, that'll be a peripheral high grade. So I decided that I'm just going to start doing a rough sort so that I can get the bin empty, get everything get the truck out of the way and stuff like that. And then go back through and do a more detailed sort for the payout. Because this client gets paid, so these are all low mid-grade things. Peripheral. We have a SanDisk in here. Yeah, nice peripheral board. Motherboard. Ooh, large socket motherboard. A US quarter will fit inside of there with no trouble at all. Make sure you remove those button cells before you sell these. Peripheral, you could tell this is where the cable came in. This was some sort of cable box, and we have all kinds of connectors that would have been associated with some sort of cable box. So it's a classic peripheral board. A lot of heavy power on that side, nicer stuff on this side. I'm going to put it in with the peripherals. I cut this part off. This will go with the low grades, and then that can go with the peripherals. That's my plan. Now that's interesting. It's like we have a... Oh, I know what you were. You were some sort of satellite receiver. That's where the RF energy went in. And then we had all the processing stuff here. Very cool. Put you with specialty boards. Not sure what I want to call you for payout purposes yet. Ooh. Telecom board. Gonna have some nice chips underneath all these heat sinks. Now, this is a really interesting board. It's on an aluminum plate and it's covered with lacquer, so it's a low grade board. And what I have to decide is, do I want to try to remove the board for the aluminum or sell it as a low grade? For now, it's going into low grades. Here's another switch. Well, you can see this was a lot of. It's a telecom high grade. After I take off all these heat sinks, you can leave these all on, and this is very different from a router or a switch that you would buy at a big box store. This one was for some sort of commercial setup. Telecom. We gotta get the battery off of here, but we've got lots of BGAs, gold cornered BGAs, tantalum capacitors. These are all gold plated connectors. So yeah, telecom high grade. And another one of those gold fingers that's got brown, but yeah, I'm gonna put that with the gold finger cards for right now until I decide what I want to do with that. Oh, we have a few of these now. I'm throwing those with the peripherals for the time being. And we saw another one like this before with the with the flash card and some nice big ICs and such on it. Probably came out of a PC or a laptop or something, maybe a mini PC or something of that nature. Or maybe it came out of a docking station. Yeah, it could be. I think I'm going to put that in with the peripherals for now. Motherboard. So you see how that's a rectangular shape? That is almost definitely an I-series motherboard. Put those over with the low and mid grades. I'm gonna have to start another box because I just shipped out my low grade box. I gotta call them up and see if they finished pricing that one out. Peripheral board, nice peripheral board there. I should put, if I wasn't worried about blocking traffic, I'd have bins on the other side too, and then I could be tossing stuff in both directions. So we have a nice big old iPad here. Tablets. A lot of low grade going on here, and I don't, as some of you know, I don't separate low and mids. I put them all in the same bin. The buyer that I have buys them together like that, and they're the same price anyway, so it doesn't matter, right? Right. In a classic example of how board definitions can vary, I have a new company that I'm selling to. It's called Diddy and Orf, and they have some interesting categories of their boards. What they are calling mid-grade boards and mid-low boards are very, very different thing than what Board Sort is calling a mid-grade board or a low-grade board. So I am going to have to do some real thinking and studying of Diddy and Orf's price sheet because, for instance, they break out power boards separate from the low-grade boards, and as I mentioned, their mid-grade boards are a very, very different thing from Board Sort's mid-grade boards. So it's very important that we pay attention to our buyers, what our buyers are classifying things as, and then adjust accordingly as we sell to those different buyers. Connectors there, so definitely some sort of telecom, and we'll get it cleaned up and make a decision between telecom high or low. Definitely got to get this bracket off one way or another. Oh, we've seen that. That came off of a server power supply, or one of those great big server power rack things. I went on the Board Sort website and I checked, and sure enough, they have a category for trimmed slot cards. So that's these things that we saw earlier. I have to take the brackets and heat sinks off, of course, but they do have a category for those. I have separated the peripheral boards into peripheral low grade, peripheral high grade. These are as is for buying, so we can go get those weighed up right now. And Some of you more steely-eyed members of the shiver may notice that the tear has changed for my cart. And the reason for that is I replaced the casters. I had pneumatic casters, and I got tired of having to fill them up constantly. They were always going flat. So I went with solid rubber. That should be a little easier to take care of, and it added a few pounds to the tear weight. You know, I don't know that I have a category on my own price list for these. So anyway, we'll go ahead and record that 9.07 minus 1.5. Now these sorts can actually take me a little bit of time. I have to do the rough sort coming out of the truck, and then for things like the peripherals and the telecoms, I go back and do another sort to get them into the high and low categories, because that's the way I pay out this client. And then I have to take everything in and get it weighed and separated and then record the price sheet. So it takes a little bit of time, but this is a very good client. We have a very good working relationship, so it's definitely worth it for me. What is probably more worth it for you is to take the time to go check out the videos that are popping up on either side of the screen here, and the big round one in the middle. That's to help you to subscribe so you don't miss a single episode of Shark Scrapper.